Hi guys, I'm Ricky Robotsky and thank you so much for watching my show. Tonight I wanted to talk about knowing your worth. A lot of us have trouble with knowing our worth, especially if it deals with relationships or just interacting in everyday life. It can be hard when other people try to predispose your value or try to tell you, your worth. And I'm here to help you with some of my tips on knowing your worth. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. Grab your drinks and let's run it. So, the first step to knowing your worth is, of course, loving yourself. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else, and you definitely have to love yourself if you're going to let somebody else try to tell you what your worth is. And I gotta tell you, you personally are an amazing person. I don't know you possibly, I've never probably even met you, but I know for a fact that you're an amazing person, you're unique, you are so deserving of every good thing possible, which is probably why you're watching this video, or why you clicked on it, or why you're following the channel. And all of the videos on my channel are sole purpose, one reason, to enlighten you. So I hope you are enlightened by this video, and we're gonna jump to it. So like I said, love yourself. Remember that. Always love yourself before you love somebody else. Number two is to stand your ground. And when I say stand your ground, I mean don't lower your standards or don't lower your characteristics or go out of your character just for the sake of someone else or because of what they think. Because when you do this, you're doing it for that person. You're not doing it for yourself. And that goes back to when I said you got to love yourself, because you're doing something for somebody else that what they think you should do. And see, you're an individual. You were born in this world by yourself. You came in the womb by yourself. If you're a twin, you're still born by yourself. You are here for an individual reason, to serve an individual purpose. And you can't allow another person to determine or as they say, predispose your value. So, I give you a perfect example of standing up for yourself and knowing your worth. Let's take, for example, I'll give you a personal example from when I was 19. So, I was 19 years old and actually 18. I had just bought my car, getting ready to turn 19. And I thought I was balling in my little 1988 Honda Accord. And I remember going into the mall, and we were walking past these stores, me and my friends, and I'm the type of person, I don't mind splitting them. I don't have to go into every store with all my friends. So I caught up with them later. I think they were going to the food court, but I wanted to stop inside of one of these stores, and I think it was either Armani or it was Dolce & Gabbana. It had to be one of the two, but I was looking for a cologne, and I wanted something to smell good. And I remember one of my friends wore something, and he was like, "Is Dolce & Gabbana light blue?" Which later became my favorite brand of clothing and perfume or colognes. So I went inside the store, and they had, and it could have been Macy's now that I think about it, but there was this lady working the little fragrance bar. She was an older lady, and I remember just looking down at everything and looking and sniffing this, sniffing that. And she was like, "Could I help you with something?" I said, "Oh no, I'm just looking right now. I just want to, this smell." She goes, "Okay, baby. Well, let me know if you need something." And she was an older lady, so she was actually like, "Okay, baby. Well, let me know if you need something. Okay, I'll be right over here in the corner." I said, "Yes, ma'am. Thank you." And I remember smelling all these fragrances. I remember smelling a Nautica. It was so many different brands, and then I ran across Dolce & Gabbana light blue, and I was like, this is it. It smells just like how I thought it would smell. and I was like, I have to have this cologne. And I'm smelling it, and I sampled it. I sprayed it on. The lady gave me one of these little strips. You know, you spray and you shake it, and you smell it. You see if it's your scent. And boy, I tell you, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue was my scent. And this video is not sponsored by Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, by the way. So anyway, me being a 19-year-old, this is my first time kind of out and about buying things on my own. And I remember walking up to her and trying to talk her down on this price of this Dolce & Gabbana. Because if anybody know any of those Italian designers, they take pride in their material, their merchandise. So I remember the price being, it was well over what I thought it should have been, basically, for me being 19 and not knowing anything. So I remember walking up and I wanted this bottle, and I said, how much is this? And I believe she said right now we have it gone on sale for like $80 or $90. And I was like, what? $80 or $90? Now you're talking about a 19-year-old who used to wear Old Spice and Axe. So the most I've ever spent on a fragrance on me was about $5 or $10 max, right? So she looked at me and I asked, you got anything cheaper like this? Like any other Dolce & Gabbana, like a bottle for like $5 or $10? And she was like, I remember her little face, she was looking at the top of her glasses, and she was like, you is so cute, baby. No, honey, I don't know what you ain't gonna find no Dolce, no Gabbana up in here for no $5, baby. Now, you might have to take yourself on across the street over there to the Walmart, and they might have a little something for you. Now, I ain't gonna guarantee it's gonna be no Dolce Gabbana, baby, but, you know, it's gonna probably smell good for you in your price range. And that right there, I was like, whoa, you know, why is this so high? Not understanding who and what Dolce & Gabbana is. You know, Dolce & Gabbana is a high-end fashion designer company. And they're up here, and my budget is down here. And this goes, when I say stand your ground and know your worth, because the Dolce & Gabbana knows their worth of their merchandise. And their merchandise is top notch. That's why they advertise it as. It's top notch. So if I can't afford Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Dolce & Gabbana, from who they are, they're not just gonna drop a price just because an individual can't afford that price. You got to get on their level, and that's what I mean by stand your ground, because you're like the high-end fashion designer. If this person is coming at you with a Ross or Walmart budget and you're Dolce & Gabbana or Versace, why would you lower your standards for someone who can't afford to even be a part of your life? So you stand your ground and you say that this person needs to get on your level. And that's one thing you have to realize when knowing your worth. And I hope that helped you clear that up. The third one is, don't compare yourself. So people do that. And back to the fashion board, here we come. So you may know Versace and all these other clothing lines. And you don't really hear them too much shaming themselves. I mean, not shaming themselves, but shaming each other in their ads, is because they're focused on solely their product and their materials. Now, you may find that in other companies like Coke and Pepsi, for example, they forever throw each other under the bus because it's a consumer marketing kind of thing. But with Dolce & Gabbana, Versace, Michael Kors, all of those, when they do their ads, it's always about their material and how good it looks and how good it can make you look if you wear it. You know, and that is what you should present yourself as like a high-end fashion designer who knows their worth, people. So you don't have to compare yourself to someone else, because each of these designers, like Dolce, Versace, they all have their own uniqueness. So there's no need to compare yourself to anybody else, because you're unique. You have your own design. You have your own fragrance. You have your own signature scent. You have your own everything. You know, you're this individual. For crying out loud, you have your own fingerprints. We are all destined on this earth to serve a purpose. It may not be the same as the other individual. It may not be the same as your siblings or your cousins or your nearby neighbors. but you have a purpose, and you can't let somebody justify who you are by what they think or how they think that you should be. So remember, people, before I go ahead and end this, know your worth. And remember this, all these things that I told you, I need you to calculate everything. I need you to calculate love yourself. I need you to calculate stand your ground. And I need you to calculate don't compare yourself. So when you finish calculating everything, hopefully you should have a sum total of priceless. And don't forget to add your tax. Thank you for watching Ricky Robotsky Show.